Okay, so your first one, Jasper?
Well, the fish plate?
Your first course?
Yeah.
The leek's going to be about 25–30% smaller. Try and get more even dill up here.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? I know it's just a sheet, but if it's so nice, and then we got a bare spot right in the corner. So try and get that nice and even. No big changes. It's rock and roll.
It's probably the hardest one to train, especially a junior team, people that have not been exposed to something like this. But it's still quite important in the competition. I mean, there's nutritional value, artistic ability, and making sure that the food goes well together. Now, it's difficult, especially when a judge doesn't even taste the product. They're all going on by how it looks. But now you're taking something to a different level, which is extremely technical, and it's food that has to hold. It's food that's not necessarily, quote, real. It is real, but we're now changing it, altering it for it to be looked at.
You got to take off 30% right off the bat. Remember, no touchy of the soup, the cracker. So now you figure it out.
So you can't touch the cracker?
Well, you can't put a cracker in liquid, right? Okay, that's something we got to think about. If we're going to add a cracker to this, something that would work with this particular plate. This is not what a cracker is supposed to look like for a show cracker. It's got to look perfect, and it's got to look delicious. Make sure you take measurements. Yes, we're going to take the length of this now. As you can see that we added on another piece, right? So it's going to be as long, but you need to take off 25% of the thickness. Okay? So it's more or less the same amount of protein on there. Obviously, we're not going to do this again. That's why we're going to ask you to make two pieces, and we'll see which one's better. The fault in this dish is the bowl, so it's not your fault. So we got to get a bowl similar that's a little bit wider, so we can put more goodies inside.
The cold competition is definitely a dying art, but it is still a discipline that the international competitions must have.
This one here. We're talking about a lentil ragu here.
Okay.
It's beautiful. The racing stripe carries it, brings it back together.
Yeah.
Okay, so you gotta finish, make your cracker a little cleaner, like we talked, maybe a teardrop offset so it's round at the top, comes to a point, and this would still hold it up.
Yeah, so
I think
the point will be sitting on the point, kind of like
exactly.
that. Exactly.
Yeah, but if you put a little hole in the point, then it's going to make it settle in. Whereas if you don't, just like these, it's going to roll off.
Rock and roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
About 30% on this, a little more narrow. This is beautiful, but this line takes away from the terrine. Or see how this adds to the terrine? It takes away from that ugly line. So if we had the nice green here and here, it would just, that's good. Your lettuces, of course, are going to be greener, but we're keeping that the same. Shrimp, of course, you need 10 of those bastards, all exactly the same, right? So you need to get, for those golden beets, you need to find organic yellow beets, because anything you're buying from Circa or whatever, they're going to oxidize and turn black. Because of the pesticides they're spraying on it. Okay. Whereas if you get the organic ones, they don't have the pesticides and they don't oxidize and turn black on you. This is going to be on the side without the greens, and we're going to run the salad on the plate green, exactly like the platter. Okay. Overall, I think it's beautiful. You did a hell of a job on it. If you can do this again over there, I consider it successful no matter where we land.
It's an honor and an absolute privilege to be on this team. Getting to work with Chef Ryan, Chef JC, all these people with so much experience, it's just a big learning experience for myself. And I get to really see when I get to push myself to see if I can really do it or not. And it's great to see other countries at this level of intensity.